Welcome to Nikki's Modern Mediterranean. I'm Nikki Gleckis, wife, mother, CEO, and entertaining expert. It's peach season. Join me on today's episode where we're making these adorable mini peach pies. To get started with making our mini peach pies, we're gonna take one peach. I've just diced this up, and we're going to put with our peaches, our filling, which is a half a tablespoon of regular sugar, white sugar, half a tablespoon of brown sugar, half a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. We're gonna mix this really well together. 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, just a tiny bit, because it's really overpowering flavor. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Put that right in there. And this is our pie filling, so easy. I'm gonna mix this together, make sure the peaches have all the sugar, flour, cinnamon, nutmeg all over them. And we're gonna set this aside to get our dough ready for our pies. So I'm gonna put this on the side. Now you can make your own dough, but I'm just gonna use store-bought dough, which is a lot easier for me. I'm just gonna roll this out. This is a good one to make with kids actually at home because you can roll this out pretty simply, and you can use a biscuit cutter, 3-inch cookie cutter. I don't have one today, so I'm gonna use the top of a glass. So we're just gonna make our circles here. See, pretty easy. I'm gonna put them down on lined parchment paper baking sheets. And I like making mini desserts because then it's easy for everybody to get a little bite. Sometimes when you're entertaining, everybody brings over different desserts and you get full pretty quickly. I'm gonna re-roll the rest of this dough together. Usually when I make this, I'll use a cookie cutter that's a lot smaller and I'll be able to get 10 round circles, but this time I'm using the glass, which is gonna give me a little bit less. I'm gonna put a little flour on here so it's easier to roll out. And we're gonna cut these. So this is a great recipe to do in the fall. I'll make this with apples after we go apple picking, and in the summer, I do really like using the peaches because they're in season, fresh, and nice and refreshing. This is about 3.5 inches. So when I do it with 3 inches, we can get a lot more circles out of this. So I'm just gonna keep re-rolling my dough to get as many as I can out of this. So we have 7, let's see if I can get 8 out of this. I never like to waste, so we'll try to roll this out as much as we can. I made this with the kids, and I'll roll this out for them and then let them cut out the circles, so at least they feel like they're included in making this. So we'll put that there, one more. So that looks great. We're gonna do 8 of our little pies. So now I'm gonna cut with the rest of the dough that we had from our pre-made dough box. I'm gonna cut out the 8 circles for the tops. So these are our bottoms of our little pies, and I have this peach mixture. It smells so good with the cinnamon. And we're just gonna put a good amount of the filling right in the center to make these little pies. These are so cute. Put them like this. So again, like I said, you can really do this with any fruit. I always like to tell you different ways of incorporating peaches or any ingredient that you're using. So if you bought a bunch of peaches and you're making an entree or an appetizer, why not make a little dessert with it as well? We've already preheated our oven for 425 degrees, and once we put them in the oven, it's only gonna take about 15 minutes. So this is a great dessert that you can make before your guests are coming over or just for your family. So we'll put this down there. We have all of our filling. Looks awesome. Just a little sliver of butter on the middle of each one. I've gotten a little egg white here. I'm gonna whisk this together for our egg white, and we're gonna use it to seal our little pies together. So I'm just gonna use my finger just to go around the edge a little bit of each one before I close them with my fork. So put that down right on top. That. And I'm gonna take a fork and just press down with the fork, press our little pies down before we bake them. So I'm gonna make sure they're all sealed all around the edges. You could just go around with your fingers, make sure they're nice and sealed so none of the filling comes out when we're baking them. So next what we're gonna do is I'm going to take a knife and cut some slits right on the top so there's some air inside of our pies when they're baking. So I'll cut slits, just do a little 3 on the top. Now we're gonna take a little bit of our egg whites. We're gonna brush on the top, and I'm gonna take some sanding sugar to add right on top before we bake them. This is gonna really give it a nice little shine on the top. It's gonna add a little bit more sweetness. It's really gonna make them a really pretty color on top too, because you want it to sparkle a little bit. So I've covered them, the egg whites, and now I'm gonna use our little sanding sugar. That looks really pretty. I also like the crunch of the sanding sugar, so put that right there. And then these are ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna put these in the oven for 15 minutes. Our mini pies are ready. They look so delicious. Golden brown on the top. So for plating, I'm gonna take one of these right here on the plate. I'm gonna serve this with some fresh whipped cream right on top. Look at that, delicious. And this is ready to eat. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. For the full recipe, visit nikkigleckis.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy.